One of the qualities that makes a good luthier is the ability to sort out amongst the thousands of species of wood available, the ones that offer the best combination of characteristics. The species used in lutherie are often referred to as precious, mainly because of their relative scarcity and price. With the help of Andrew of A&M Wood Specialties of Cambridge, Ontario, I carefully select each piece of rare rosewood, Macassar ebony and Padauk, looking for the perfect combination of color, grain, density and stiffness. For my soundboards, I use the very best Western red cedar, Engelmann spruce or redwood from California, woods that are usually over 200 years old. All this precious wood is carefully resawn in order to yield the very best in terms of grain orientation, stiffness and resonance. Then a very slow and closely monitored aging process is started, bringing already air-dried wood to equilibrium in 3 to 4 years. Each top is selected according to its fundamentals, species, resonance and stiffness. Then the top is tuned and braced in order to enhance its basic qualities. The tuning of the plate is achieved by thicknessing, thereby creating sectors of different stiffness that resonate to different frequencies. I choose the bracing system, whether it be traditional, flamenco or Cascio inspired, in order to achieve the quality and type of sound I'm looking for, while taking advantage of the fundamentals of that top. In that respect, each case is different. The bracing system has to be modified for every top in order to suit both my needs and those of the wood. The last step in that process is the tuning of the braces, and here the individuality becomes even more acute. Each brace is shaved until the different vibrating sectors of the top interact smoothly with each other, creating a system that functions as a whole.
Classical guitarists usually require an instrument that has great projection. In order to play classical guitars at a high volume, the strings need a lot of room in which to vibrate back and forth, yet assuring that the instrument is easy to play. The secret is in the angle of the neck to the body. Paul Champagne's Spanish-style heel block assures proper neck angle as well as many other important advantages. It is nearly impossible to construct a Spanish-style heel block on guitars that are mass-produced.
The most labor-intensive part of a guitar is the neck. And if the soundboard is the most important in terms of acoustics, the neck is certainly the most important in terms of playability and the relationship between the instrument and the musician. I incorporate in the construction of my guitar necks some features that, even though around for centuries, are seldom seen on modern instruments, either because of their complexity or because they do not relate to mass production. One example is the Spanish eel design. Literally around for centuries, it is still the most structurally sound. In this design, the neck and heel block is all one piece. I cut 2 slits into the neck where the heel block begins, for the sides of the body to be tucked into. This way, the whole body is constructed around the neck and heel block. This design locks the neck angle and improves sustain and projection, because no vibration is lost in what often becomes a wobbly joint. Museums are filled with instruments that prove that the Spanish eel can sustain the test of time. Another distinctive feature of Champagne guitars is the tuning of the necks and fingerboards. Usually, classical guitars rely on the pull of the strings to bend the neck into its necessary curvature. This is both imprecise and unreliable. Because of the high quality of both the woods and the type of construction that I use, I end up with extremely stiff and stable necks. I tune the necks and fingerboard, planing in the necessary shape, each one permanently adjusted and independent of the pull of the strings. Precise, buzz-free action, and more than anything else, playability over the whole range are synonymous with Champagne guitars. Assembly takes a different form in the Champagne guitar shop than what you would find elsewhere. I concentrate exclusively on one guitar at a time. With the help of Patrick Martel, my assistant, I follow the old Spanish way of building guitars. The first step is to join the neck to the soundboard. From that point on, I build the guitar face down around the Spanish heel. After the side assembly is carefully fitted and secured to the top and heel of the guitar, another fine-tuning of the top braces is done. This way, I optimize the acoustic potential of each guitar at every stage of construction. I glue the back next. It too carries a bracing, which has to be tuned in order to optimize its performance. Later, I had the purflings and bindings in especially routed channels all around the guitar. These strips of exotic wood are selected mainly for their dramatic color. They are matched to the rosette, which in itself is a work of art. Of a unique design, these rosettes are handcrafted right here in the shop. The rosettes and the colorful bindings and purflings that complement them help give my guitars their distinctive look. The finish of a fine classical guitar can be as important acoustically as the quality of the wood. I use a fine clear lacquer that is especially formulated for my guitars. Finishing is a long and complicated process that cannot be rushed. Every surface of the guitar is hand sanded and scrutinized until flawless. No power sander is ever used in my finishing process. All the surfaces are sealed and the open-pored woods are filled. The whole instrument is again sanded until smooth. 3 coats of lacquer are then applied. They are left overnight to dry and then sanded. Now this process will be repeated until the whole guitar is absolutely flawless. When satisfied with the surface finish, I let the guitar stand for 2 weeks, after which the whole instrument is again resanded and buffed. The resulting finish is not only highly beautiful with a mirror-like brilliance, it possesses acoustic properties that actually enhances the sound of the guitar. After the bridge is glued using a vacuum press, the guitar is ready for its hardware. I use only high-quality German machine heads. Both the top knot and the saddle can be of either bone or graphite epoxy, and the saddles are compensated for each instrument. Finally, every champagne guitar is again thoroughly inspected and tuned before shipping.
A Paul Champagne instrument should be carefully maintained. Ideally, the instrument should be kept at a constant relative humidity between 40 and 60%, and must never be subjected to extreme temperature changes. Periodical cleaning of the whole instrument is recommended, as well as a wax to protect the lacquer, and a wax for the neck, and lemon oil for the fingerboard. Remember that a fine musical instrument such as a Paul Champagne guitar needs more care than a simple plywood box, but in return it will give you so much more. There are 5 different models of Paul Champagne classical guitars. They range from our concert model, the EX1, to our least expensive TR2, designed for the serious student who is looking for a more affordable alternative. The TR1 offers full range, crisp treble, well-rounded bass. The TR1 is an elegant example of the traditional classical guitar. The TR2. It's built and adapted from the Spanish style, simple in appearance, yet maintains a high degree of quality. The KA1. The K1 is designed for today's musical environment. The K1 breaks from tradition to address the needs of modern guitarists. The K1 offers added projection and balance, an evenness of every note on the range, and no bass boom over treble notes. The Flamenco. The Paul Champagne Flamenco is an instrument of beauty and charm. It offers fast attack, short sustain, and a crisp tone. The EX1. This world-class instrument offers longer scales, concert settings, and added projection.